I'm Gemma Mann. I'm 26 years old. I'm a materials engineer. A materials engineer is anyone who looks at materials, studies them, finds out what their properties are. It means anything that can be used to build with, build bridges, vehicles, planes, buildings. They're called engineering materials. They include metals, polymers and ceramics usually. I like looking at metals because there are things that are made out of it these days that like to break. It's interesting to study the metal so we know why it breaks. I got into materials engineering from a physics lecturer that we had that studied atoms. And he studied how atoms moved within a crystalline structure. I found that really interesting because if atoms can move in a crystalline structure, it means that the metal can break. If a metal breaks, there are so many reasons why it can happen that it's often a mystery, especially when it happens in aeroplanes. I really want to know why aeroplanes crash, and if I can help by studying metals, that's what I want to do. Some metals are supposed to break, but they're supposed to be strong enough to do their job. And if they're not strong enough, or if they have holes in them, or if they're weak, then they'll break, and this can cause catastrophe, especially in an aeroplane. I work for a cooperative research centre, which is a centre for cast metals manufacturing. And we do the research and development for industry. My normal work involves casting the plates in the sand moulds that I make. I get the sand mould and I pour in magnesium, which I've melted in a furnace. I can pour in different metals. I can combine metals with magnesium to make an alloy. I pour that into the sand mould and all the mouldings come out the same. Then cutting them up and heat treating them in the oven. I have to heat treat it so that all the little zinc atoms evenly distribute themselves between the magnesium atoms. Then I'll take a piece of magnesium like this and polish it up. Have a look at it under a microscope, check for flaws, defects, and I can test them in a machine that will grip it and pull it or push it depending on what I want. We've just pushed this piece of metal to its limit. Imagine if this happened on a plane. I test the material, make sure it's strong enough. So if there are no holes and it's strong enough and I've got the right metal, it'll be turned into a mag wheel. From magnesium specimen to magnesium wheel. I enjoy it because I can get physical, I can get into it, I can get my hands dirty, I can get everything else dirty. And in the end, I know that I've made the metal from the beginning to the end. I've tested that it's okay and it can be used in the mag wheel. No one's going to sue me because their mag wheels failed. My degree in physics is basically what got me into materials engineering. Before that I had no idea about materials engineering or metals. There is still only a low number of girls doing materials engineering. People don't know about materials engineering yet. As you can see, it's not just for the boys. It's not a hard job and it's very interesting. It takes a very analytical mind to work out what's happening inside. What's innovative about my work at the moment is that I'm trying to find something cheaper, lighter and stronger than aluminium. Another part of my work here at uni that I really enjoy is teaching physics prac classes. To be a materials engineer, you come to university and do a Bachelor of Engineering. I'd encourage anyone who had a deep interest in how atoms worked, why things fail, especially engineering materials, to do this because it's a fascinating subject, little understood subject as well. First memory I have about what I wanted to do, I wanted to be a policewoman. And in a way, if I investigate things, it's becoming a kind of a policewoman, a police detective. If a plane crashes, then there's a big mystery as to why. This is where the detective work comes in. It combines my love of investigation with my love of physics. I want to be the person that when a plane crashes and they think it's a mechanical failure, I get called up, I get sent in, and I find that piece of metal and I find the reason the plane crashed.